Are live with Marshall live.
Hello.
Hey, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself? I know you've got a great intro. I wouldn't want to take it from you.
Yeah, right. Well, for everybody, hello. My name is Marshall Live, and I am a mindset transformations coach, and I am here with Hannah. I'm super excited to be on, and I'm really just looking to connect and learn more from you as you're kind of pivoting as well. I think in our journeys here, so I'm excited to talk about that today.
Awesome. Yeah, it looks like my earbuds don't want to work. So, fun fact, I'm in a seventh grade classroom right now.
I was gonna say, what's up with you? Where are you at?
Mac, my partner teaches seventh grade, and we went on a field trip today,
Oh, that's
and
rad.
I'm here. I got to chaperone, and now I'm just like chilling in the English classroom.
Did they call you like Mrs. Hermanson or like how did they address you today?
Oh no, I'm just Hannah, and they really don't
Okay.
care. They're just like,
Okay. They're
"Here's
like
Starbucks."
whatever. Hey, where are we live at?
So we are live in my Facebook group. Dream Life is Real Life.
All right. What is going on? Dream life is real life. I am looking for you guys right now so I can share this out. Boom, I found us.
Okay,
There we
cool.
are. Look at us. How cool are we? It's like Inception.
Is this gonna say that? Yeah, so
So,
meta of
so what was it like for you today? What's it like to take a step out of like your everyday entrepreneur life and like grinding and building and dealing with people and then like scaling it back and like dealing with kids all day? Like, even if it's seventh grade, like what's that like?
Well, it's so interesting because I felt, I've chaperoned before, and it's like so nice to have that freedom in my schedule to be able, like, yeah, I can meet you guys there at noon and stay as long as you need me.
Yeah.
I did notice though how much my energy was just like low. Like I had
Yeah.
plenty of caffeine. I was like not doing anything different. It's just so different to, yeah, like I was kind of out of my element. I wasn't sure how
Yeah.
to get the boys to stop hitting each other. And then I came here and I had a call with a client, and now I'm like, nothing has changed except for like who I'm talking to and what we're talking about, and my energy is back. So, yeah,
That's awesome. It's
interesting.
it's fun. So what do kids that age talk about all day?
Snapchat and bodily functions, a lot of like farting and burping.
Okay, okay. Classic.
And yeah, they're in their phones a lot, honestly. And like I said, they weren't that interested in me or like being there. But it was really great to see them. So many of them live in San Francisco and don't get out of their neighborhood or really know
Right.
resources. And we went to a museum and a park that they had never been to, and just seeing them
Yeah.
a few miles from their house just like light up. It's like a cool experience.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
It's crazy because like as I move into like as you know like I'm moving away from branding, which I did all last year, moving into mindset coaching and really developing like really actually stepping into my speaking career. So developing a signature talk, writing my book and or a book just for not even really because I'm like want to write a book, but just to book stages. You know what I mean? But it's interesting because the more work I start doing, I really want to start to work more with this demographic of like junior high and high school kids and really starting to understand. And I'm going to get deep like right off the bat. Like let's just do it because I was sitting there and I've been as people we have all these limitations in our lives and the limits that we put on ourselves. I can't. I'm not old enough. I'm not young enough. I'm not good looking enough. I don't have enough money. I'll never learn enough. Like whatever it is, whatever limitation you want. Yo, what's going on, Ruth? Thanks for joining on. We tell ourselves a series of things, and I'm always unpacking it, and I'm always like breaking it down. And it was interesting because one of the things that I've been dealing with lately, and this is why it translates back to junior high, is one of the things I've been having trouble with lately. And I know it sounds weird, but like just self love, like thinking it's okay for me to be good. And what I mean by that is all day long I pour into everybody else, and people will tell me the nicest stuff on here. Marshall, you're changing my life. Thanks for the inspiration, and it's really great. But I have trouble like believing that. Like I don't feel great. Like I don't have this greatness I feel where I'm just like this pride, you know?
Yeah.
So I was asking my coach and I'm like, dude, is it okay for me to want to be great? Like, is it okay for me to say that out loud to want to be the greatest? And he like hit me. He's like, bro, what is wrong with you? He's like, yeah, that's like the first thing I teach every client I have. Like, you've got to believe that you're the greatest, you know? And I'm like, oh, okay, because it's kind of a foreign concept to me. So fast forward the next day, and I'm talking with my girlfriend Shannon, and she's like, we're just gonna have this heart to heart moment. She goes, well, like I really like I don't believe you, Marshall. Like you really don't know that you're great. And I'm like, I just don't feel it, baby. Like I don't internalize it. And she's like, well, think back. Like, when's the last time that you remember feeling like really great, Marshall. Like, when's the last time? And I'm like, it stopped me in my tracks. And like, I actually started to get teary eyed. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. I never really thought about it, you know? And I thought back to it. And it was actually sixth grade. And, you know, it's all that long time. And it came to me in an instant. I'm 33 now. I've never thought about this. And it all came back to me. The last time that I really felt truly great was in sixth grade, you know, playing football, this X, Y, and Z. And it turns out I had people in my life then who kind of crushed that, but not on purpose. They're just like, oh, well, you're never going to be like this great at football. And I've never thought about it, you know? And it's crazy because now as adults, and especially as business people, we want to rush off. We want to help people build these brands, learn how to do social media, learn how to do all this and that. And people want to learn these skill sets. And they're like, oh my God, like teach me how to make money. And really what I've been finding out and why I've made this pivot is it all starts with mindset, right? And so many of us don't have the correct mindset because when we were that age or younger or maybe a little bit older, there was something in our lives where people put limitations on us. So I'm always interested to learn more about that demographic and how, like, as an adult, we can help build up children to not have these limitations to grow up with them. And it's crazy because I think this is what you talk about. Like, you know, these limitations are what people stop people from making real life, dream life, right?
Yeah, it's all the stories that we keep playing and the not enoughness and the imposter syndrome. And I want to just give a little bit of framework if folks haven't seen you. There's a joke like in the entrepreneur space, like everyone knows Marshall because he's at the top of our news feed all the time. Because last year, he made a huge commitment to going live and offering a ton of value to help people start. Yes, he's got the t-shirt to help people start earning money from their phones, right? By just, showing up, giving consistent value. And he was really successful at that. And we just talked about a week or so ago about a shift that you're alluding to. And that,
Yeah,
yeah, this is great that we can tell people how to earn money. And now I think both of us are getting into this, like, what does it
absolutely.
mean? And what is the real heart work to that? And so I would love for you to tell us a little bit more. You're sharing that like realization of like, I didn't think I was actually good enough.
Yeah.
Great. So
Well, yeah, you know, it's crazy because well, let's think about it then because this is how important mindset is. This is what made me shift is like before I kind of tell the story, it's like this, you guys. Last year I made money and I was able to change my entire life, quit my job fully for the first time finally, start living completely on my own, do my own thing. And I made money.
if
What's
you're in
up?
this group and you don't understand that yet, like we need to talk because I
100%.
right? Like it's just so much more clear over and over. You can literally do anything and monetize it. And so if you're still
Anything.
in this group and that point of like
Anything.
money is my biggest issue, like talk to us about that because it's not about that. So keep going. I just wanted
Yeah.
to like
No, absolutely. That's such a great point, Hannah. Like literally, and you guys, anything. Like it could be anything. Like Gary Vaynerchuk says, this is now a TV.
yeah.
So if this is a TV, that means that Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, they're all TV channels. And the show that and I have on right now is a show on Facebook that we're just streaming live. And when you can consistently show things on your channels that apply to a certain demographic, they will start to watch you and then you can monetize it on the back end. Super simple. It's very hard to execute, but it's very, very simple structure and process. But anyways, I think that's a great point. And I want this, that was my biggest message last year. Like literally for those of you who don't know my story, last year I stood in the corner of a corner here in San Diego, with my phone, and I said, "Hey everybody, my name is Marshall. This is my journey to becoming a public speaker. I don't know if I'm going to make it. I might fall flat on my face, but I'm going to prove to you guys this year that you can quit your job and become anything you want just from a mobile phone." And at the time that I did that, I had never spoken before. I had never had my own business. I didn't have an audience. I had no money. I had no website, no logo, no idea what I was doing. I worked full time as a bartender, like nothing, like zero, zero. And I did. I built this business. I just hacked it. I hacked real life. And when I say I hacked real life, and this is why the way I keep teaching all my clients, it's a life hack. All I did was learn about what I wanted to do the most, and I started sharing it online, and I started making a bunch of content. And then what happened? This is the hack, though, because that's not enough. The hack is then I started going out and meeting people at real events, like as many as I could. I mean, like almost would be like, oh, an event junkie. But this is what happened, you guys, because I was producing content online. I would then go out and I'd never take business cards. But a little side tip, a networking tip, I don't ever take business cards. I always get people's phone numbers or connect with them on social media. When people go, "Oh, do you have a business card?" I laugh. I'm going to go, This is 2018, man. Let's just connect on our phones.
You
And
said
then they go,
that to me.
I go
Yeah.
all the time. And so then what happens is they connect with me, and then they look at my Facebook and my channels, and they go, oh man, this guy must be the expert. He goes live every day. He's got all this content. And now what happens is I'm creating online content, but people offline are actually feeding into it and going, oh man, you're really great. And all of a sudden this ecosystem starts to be born. And that's the way that I got here.
Okay, so boom,
But
guys, there are the strategies. Like we said, it's
I,
simple. So run with that. But now we need to get real because even as we start to earn money or see that we are able to network with a lot of people, what you were talking about before comes up, and that like
yes,
I'm actually
so
good
much,
for this, the imposter syndrome. So
so much.
tell us,
Yeah,
I mean, if you don't mind, a
yeah,
little bit of your personal story to this
yeah,
point. Like, okay, I can talk about branding all day, but is that really what I need to be talking
right.
about?
And this is what's so important. If you guys get nothing else from this live, if you guys don't take away anything else from this, this is what I want you guys to understand. And it comes down to being true to who you are and what you want. And this is what I mean. Last year, I broke into this entrepreneur space because I learned by modeling guys like Ty Lopez and Gary Vaynerchuk, which is great. Like Teach Throne, I love those guys. But what I thought was that, oh, if I want to make money in this space, I have to do something like that. I have to teach us a hard skill. I have to teach how to make money, how to use LinkedIn, how to do marketing. That's my only value. So what was happening is all last year I showed up and I tried to help people have the tools to make the freedom that they wanted in their life. And I was all about it. I had a Facebook ads course early in the year that making thousands of dollars a day. I had this imposter syndrome that kicked in. I was like 3 weeks into it, making more money I've ever made in my life. And I watched the Gary Vayner podcast, and I was like, this is bullshit. Like I don't know if you can swear. I was like, this is bull. And I went live and I was like, that's it, you guys. I'm shutting down my course. I said, I'm going to give it all away. I'm starting the Dollar Entrepreneur Club. And so it's interesting because I had this pattern of self-sabotage that I didn't even realize. This is when the whole thing started, is when I first burnt my first business to the ground last year. And I'm like, why is it that I keep doing so good and burn it to the ground? This is why it's important, you guys, because I was never in alignment with what I was truly meant to do. So even though I had never made money like that, so I didn't understand, but it didn't feel right. I felt so icky. And so that's when I first learned about imposter syndrome. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
And you guys,
And
this is at every level, right? This is at sixth grade. This is at I'm a bartender. This is at I can earn money. And like even people, like every level, the shit creeps up. We can swear. The kids are gone.
it's
um,
it's
that
true that you
creeps in. And so you just need to get better at it. And so tell
right.
us, yeah, like how do we deal with this? Because it's if you're going to play big, you're going to feel some sort
Yeah.
of fear.
Well, it just comes down to a decision, right? It's a decision of what kind of life you want. And the thing with it is that most people don't start their day off with a vision. They don't know which direction they're going in. And this was a story for me last year. I was so worried about trying to make money and create freedom that I got lost in the details of what I was creating, and it literally turned into almost like a prison. So I'm spending this whole last year making all this content nonstop, getting clients, making new courses. Okay, how do I keep it up? How do I keep it up? It's all going to come down. It's all going to come down. And it's just because I wasn't in alignment. So what happened was, to really fast forward, I was at an event last year called Thrive in October, changed my entire life, hooked up with a bunch of people. This started my journey up like this. And that arrives right here today. And basically what happened was, to make this whole long thing come together, I joined a mastermind with Thrive, and I'm sitting in this mastermind meeting like 4 weeks ago, and we're listening to a billionaire, Naveen Jain, speak. And Naveen Jain is amazing. He's making disease optional. He's flying to the moon so they can like try to find places for like people to live, that if Earth were like no, like this guy's like solving complex problems. And he sat there on this chair, Hannah, and he explained it all with such simplicity. It was so simple. And I'm like, just to be around a billionaire, to listen to how they talk and hear and understand how they think is incredible. And with the simplicity, I was so taken back, and it started to unlock these things in me. And I'm like, and in Naveen, he tells, look, you guys, it's simple. He said, whatever problem you want to solve in the world, just make a business out of the solution. And all
Yes.
of a sudden, I was like, I knew that before, but it clicked. And all of a sudden, suicide prevention, like in my
Mm-hmm.
mind, I spent the last year wanting to talk about this. I have a personal experience. I've lost my best friend and my brother to suicide, family members, classmates, and all of a sudden I knew that that's what I wanted. And then it was just working backwards. And I was like, really, well, what do I do? I'm like, well, I truly believe that mindset can get you anywhere because if you look at what I did last year, I took a broken system completely out of alignment, something that didn't work at all, but with the correct mindset, I was able to make money out of it. That's crazy. So
Yeah.
now I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, so how do I show up? How do I do it? And I don't know the answers to that yet. I'm
Right.
transitioning from selling hard skills to soft skills. How do you do that? I don't know. I'm not as good at teaching mindset yet as I am at teaching branding. But the thing of it is what I want the viewers to get is like, that doesn't matter because when you play, even though I was making money last year and I was like successful, I was playing small. Like
Yep.
I was playing so small. And if I think, Hannah, if there's anything I've learned from you and your content and what you curated in this group, it's in order to have your real life be dream life, you've got to be willing to play big and you've got to be willing to take chances. Like I just gave up a bunch of money, like you know, what I mean, to step away from branding to try something new. But oh my God, I wake up every morning, and I know you're gonna think it's crazy because you probably think I'm like over the top energetic already, but I'm even more energetic now because I have such a laser focus on wanting to help people create a mindset. Yeah,
Yeah. And that's how it feels when you're on purpose. And this is what we were talking about at the beginning, as far as like the how do I make money? What do I sell? How is my business structured? We're not talking about that today because that's not what matters. Because like
right.
you can create, you can monetize anything these days. And we have TVs to do that. We have all these ways to do that. And so getting clear on your why is the only way to create a sustainable dream life. And so Ruth popped in here with some questions. You know, she's been working on getting more clear, first, you know, overcoming her own limiting beliefs, then getting more clear on like her audience and what it is she wants to do in the world. And so she gave us a little bit of insight into, you know, what she wants to do as far as her business model. And I'm going to ask your advice. You know, my advice is, and Ruth is doing this work, but I just want to use her as an example to like figure out that thing in your heart that's going to get you waking up and excited, and your ideas are going to come easily, and you're going to feel happy to tell your story because it's from the heart and not the head.
Right.
That's a long distance though, heart to head. Like that's a long
Yeah.
path sometimes.
What did she say here? I want to heal him.
Yeah, so she's talking about, you know, she's getting more clear on like what it is she wants to do.
Ruth is a perfect example of like what's everything that's going on. Because when I met Ruth, it's actually through our good friend Hector Santiesteban with Millennial Skills, and she was at an event. Well, that's not the first time I met her. I met her at Thrive, then I met her again at Ty Lopez. But the first time I actually connected with her, and Ruth is saying all these crazy limitations like in her life, and not that they're not real, but it's crazy to me where it's crazy for me to see where she's at last year to where she's at now working with you, and the fact that she's been able to completely kind of start to shatter those limitations, and she's very vulnerably showing up, and she's like she doesn't have the answers figured out yet, but that's the thing, you guys. Done beats perfect, right? Like so many of you're like, it's funny because a speaker that I went and saw recently named Caleb Maddox, he was breaking down these steps, and one of the steps of the success that he had, he said he's anti-gun, and we're like anti-gun. He goes, you got to be anti-gun to be successful, and I'm gonna tell you guys, and we're like anti-gun. He's like, yeah, I'm anti-gunna. Like all of you guys are gonna do this, you're gonna do that. You're gonna get started. You're gonna write your book. You're gonna get on stage. You gotta be anti-gun. And Ruth,
Oh,
right?
love that.
And that's what Ruth has become is anti-gun, right? And that's literally one of the first, the number one. Arnold Schwarzenegger said the number one success tip that he has, the number one out of everything he's created, the number one success tip: dream big. That's all. That's it. He's like, really? That's it, Arnold? After all the success you've had in your life, that's your number one success tip: dream big. He's like, yeah, dream big. Like, that's it. Okay, so if you guys know that dreaming big is the first thing that you have to do, if belief is it, right? Well, then the next thing that has to come behind is the confidence to do it.
Yes.
But really just comes clear on getting that clarity on what it is you want to do. What is that? What is that? You know, I watched this interview with Jim Carrey one time, and I love how he explained it. It's just so great. And
I love Jim. He
me
is like
too.
crazy
He's
in all the right ways.
I know, man. His inner game is strong, man.
Yeah.
And he just says it basically. He's like this. He's like, I believe that whatever you want, Creator, God, Allah, whatever, He gave all of us, or she gave all of us a special purpose. Like all of us, every single person born has a special talent inside of them. And I believe that our goal, our mission as humans, is to ask ourselves enough questions to figure out what that talent is. And then we just simply have to wake up every morning and go out in the world and make it a better place, utilizing our one talent. We don't have to worry about the freaking millions of things that we put on our plates. Like we watch so much content and we want to race off to be Gary Vaynerchuk or Ty Lopez. When in regards, I never stopped and was like, I should just be Marshall Gillen. Like, what does
Yes.
Marshall Gillen have to offer? What does Hannah have to offer? What does Ruth have to offer?
Yeah.
Ruth has limited herself her entire life, and it turns out she's so smart. She should be getting paid. She could probably get paid double for what I'm getting paid for coaching. Like she
Yeah.
breaks it down so great, right?
Yeah.
So what I want people to understand is even if Ruth doesn't have the brand figured out exactly right yet, and she might not know her value ladder and how to structure her coaching call, the thing of it is that she has greatness inside of her. She has a talent inside of her. She resonates. She's repeated one of the things I like to say that I learned from my coaches. Your mess is your message, and that's the biggest thing, you guys. Like when I started this talk, I was talking about how I didn't feel great, and it's crazy because when you really unpack it even further, it comes down to my stepdad and I and our relationship that we had, and how emotionally and mentally abused I was from him my entire life, like just terrible. And the thing of it is you have to choose to use that mess. How can you guys look at your life and figure out a purpose from that? Like when I look at my mess, I'm not trying, I want to save everybody. I wish I could save all the Hannahs and all the Ruths and everybody watching. But unfortunately, the person that I'm sitting here to save, I'm here to save Marshall. Like
Yeah.
I'm here to save that guy. Hannah's here saving those people. So when you guys are talking about how do you show up and fulfill your purpose, we usually overcomplicate it. We usually are looking to heal somebody that we used to be. And if we can focus on healing that one thing, well, how can we leverage that mess and turn it into a big message? So now I go forward and talk about suicide prevention. I talk about mindset. I hold space for people to step into to discover their greatness. That's
Hmm.
my talent. And
Hmm.
everybody has their own talent, and that's what's so exciting about this. Like when I heard you do your speech, like last year, into last year in LA or Irvine rather, and dream life is real, real life is dream life. I was like, this is crazy. That's so true. I was like, that's so true. And the thing is people hear this and they probably go, "My dream life is real life." Like they probably just scroll by it, and don't think anything of it, right? Besides just a Facebook group. But the thing is, it's so true. You can literally make your real life into whatever you want if you guys just figure out what that one talent is and decide to show up in the world and serve with that talent.
Yeah. So much of what you're saying is resonating with me. I have to share just a little bit. I'm still
Please,
kind of grappling
please.
with this. We talked a week or so ago about, feeling this change that you said, right? Like, okay, we can make money. What now, though? Like,
Right.
there's more to this that we need to get clarity on. So, I was working with a coach on an exercise called Through the Ages, which I super encourage. And it sounds like this is similar to what you did, but like literally age 1, what do you remember? Everything can nothing. Okay, age 2, what do
Wow.
you remember? And the first time you go through, it's like the events that happened. Well, do it again until you start remembering those little things that your mom said when you were in the
Dang.
room. Or, like you found those patterns. I don't know if you did this. For me, it was really helpful
No.
to the ages and be like, dang, that girl who told me I had greasy hair. I still don't wear my hair down if it's a little dirty, like
Yeah.
it was super emotional. It took a long time. I fought it. I avoided it for a while. So I've been doing this for many weeks, like trying to get clarity. And then this past week, I was at a conference, and you know how you like the messages you need just kind of show up. Sometimes,
The universe serves you what you need. You said
yeah,
you have your heart open to see it for
yeah,
sure.
definitely. So 2 things landed so hard on me, and like there's so much that happens at a conference, right? So the first
Yeah.
one was loud and clear: you are chosen.
Oh, I love that.
You are chosen. You are Marshall. I am Hannah. You are Ruth. You are Julianne. All the people on here. And so it is your duty to become your best and
100%.
embrace your story and the mess so that you can share that in a big way and not
Yeah.
just spin around in your head and try to please everyone else and make your story right or find the thesis statement. I always love the thesis statement, or like, creating a meaning out of randomness. And so, like I said, I'm still trying to grapple with that, but I think that giving people more of the tools like you're moving
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
mindset and empowerment, and like, fine if you don't feel like super confident, how can we turn that into a positive?
Yeah.
So I really appreciate what you're saying about like owning your story, the good, the bad,
Yeah.
the ugly.
Well, it's crazy because this is what people don't realize. Like people want to be empowered. That's what everybody wants, especially these days. Like they just want to feel this empowerment, which is good, right? But people don't know how to step up and into their greatness because they don't think they have anything to give. And this is what's so fucking crazy, Hannah. It's like, oh, dude, I swear to God, it's a superpower. Like I change people's lives, right? That's what I get to do because I've figured out how to own up to what I wasn't in the past, use that mess and turn it into a message. And now that superpower, I get to go out and find people like me, and I get to give them belief again, right? Because that's what people don't understand. Like, oh, dude, it blows my mind. Like Ruth, for example. Let's talk Ruth, right? And I know she won't mind.
Ruth, is it okay? Say that
Yeah,
you're still here and we can keep talking.
no, yeah, no. Like Ruth, for example, like she has a pull to like stay with her family business, and she kind of wants to go out. She has all these other limitation things that have built out that kind of hold her back, right? But when I talk to Ruth, I'm like, Ruth, do you understand the power that you have? If you continue to show up every single day, think of every single Hispanic woman who is in your situation forever and ever. If just you, if you show up and lead, you're going to empower other women to change their lives. Even if it's just one, then her family changes and their family. And that's what I want to impart on all of you guys is that like, if you can change one life by using your mess is your message, right? Like that becomes a superpower. Last night I was my girlfriend and I went out with two of our friends, and they're not like entrepreneur style people. Like they're like I would say fixed mindset, but not like in a bad way. Like they just have not ever been awoken to understand the difference. And this guy is a hustler, dude, and he just bounces from job to job because the people like the people he's too smart for the owners, so they always like force him out of like this restaurant industry. The other lady's an HR specialist, and she's going to speak for her first time, and she's just like, oh, whatever, it's just a presentation. And I'm sitting here, I'm talking to them. I'm like, do you understand if you record this X, Y, and Z? And I'm like, I'm just breaking it down for my pack, and their eyes are like, what? You
Dream
know? So
big. Dream big.
yeah,
That's the secret, right?
exactly. So that's the whole thing is last night I changed two people's lives.
Yeah.
Like forever will change. And that's a superpower. And now who's telling me that they wouldn't feel great waking up every morning empowered that because you not one from the prison that we usually put ourselves in with the limitations from our past. And then two, like if you could break through that and change somebody else's life, I'm telling you, I wake out of bed, I literally jump out of bed every morning like, who are we
Yeah.
doing today? What are we saving today, man?
Yes, right. And like the thing is, when you show up big, and also I teach when you demand a high price point or you charge a lot for your services, you actually change people's lives. And so, what would you say to people? This is something my clients and people in this group ask me about a lot is like, people that are worried about getting like a lot of likes or more followers, or just they think they need a lot of people in order to impact or like leave a legacy or share their message. What do you say
Yeah.
about the number game?
It's ridiculous. You don't. You'll stay broke and unhappy if you play the numbers game like that. Like there's just no two ways about it. Because you're living through the wrong thing, right? You're not living to serve. You're living to uphold this image, and those are usually limitations that we put on ourselves because we want to be like everybody else. Like we feel there's a standard of success we ever had. Like, oh, I have to have as many likes as Ty. I have to have as many likes as Tony Robbins, as Mel Robbins. I have to have as many likes as Oprah. Like, no, you don't. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean, you guys. Like literally, you guys just saw how much I lit up, right? Like even if you go look at my social media stuff now, like my follower count is not crazy. Like not yet. It's gonna be. Watch out. But it
But
like
you're changing people's lives.
that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, I don't feel bad because I started last year doing all this stuff, and there's people that have gone. I've interviewed kids making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in e-com. People selling this, doing that, branding. I just talked to a branding strategist that I know that I'm better than. He charges $25,000 a day. Like, I could just shoot fish in a barrel and like take that. But you guys have got to understand, like, when you're playing just for the money and you're playing just for the likes, you're not playing big. You're playing small. Last year, I made more money than I've ever made, and it was the most success I've ever had. I am the most visible I've ever been in my life, and I played probably the smallest I've ever played at any point in my life because I was playing on a public forum. I'd never done that. And in my job, I would have just gone for growth. And here I didn't. I was just going for money and likes. I was just trying to gain that social platform. Last night, not one person, I didn't get one like, I didn't get any money, but I got up from a table, and two of my best friends' lives are forever changed. And
Yes.
nobody's ever going to see that. Their kids will. There are people that they come in contact with. You guys want to know how to make the world a better place? It's not another fucking rally. It's not more politics. It's not more voting. It's literally like turning that shit off, waking up in the morning with the dedication that you want to go out to the world and make it a better place. And that's
Be the
it.
change
Like,
you wish to
that's
see.
yes. That's it. If a whole world of people just got up every day and were like, man, I want to make the world a better place today. Like,
Mm,
you would make more money, you would have more success, and the world would be a better place. Like, I know that sounds like
do
super
it.
crazy, but like seriously, right? Like that's the
Guys,
idea.
how simple is this? Like, go out into the world looking to make it a better place. And
Right.
it's so amazing. Like, this is how silly this works, right? So I was thinking to myself this week, I want to like add more value. I want to diversify what I'm doing. I want to serve people in new ways. I'm at the gym today, spinning in spin class. The owner comes over and she's like, would you, I don't know. She does not know that I teach fitness. Okay. And I've just been there and I've been friendly and I've been getting to know people. She's like, would you ever be interested in like getting, like teaching some classes here? And I'm like, yeah. She, again, does not know I'm a yoga teacher or I do any of this. And she's like, just make some money while you work out. You seem to get along with everyone. I'm like, this is the stuff I would do without getting paid, and people are coming
Right.
to me, and it's because I show up and I'm friendly and I go in with positive energy. So these like that's just today proof, and so
Yeah.
I challenge everyone
I
watching
love it.
on the replay or live, go out right now. You don't have to wait until the morning. Go and see how you can be the change. Give a
Right.
smile, bring good energy everywhere you go because it's scientific. Like you give good energy, money is a form of energy. If that's still
Oh,
why you're listening because you want more money,
right.
you go.
That's the thing is you guys want to make more money. Well, listen, this is the simplicity of it. If you want to make more money, money just comes down to value, like Hannah just said. It's just an exchange of energy. So you can't expect $100,000, paycheck if you're only given $100 value. And what that comes down to is how you show up every day. Do you want to know why the most successful people are the most successful? Because they wake up and they give the most energy that there is. And the energy is just whatever it is that we put out into the world. Like, how do we show up and what is it that we're giving, right? How do you show up? If you show up and you give only little limited amounts because you're worried about the money, oh, I can only give so much free content, the rest is paid for.
Mhm.
Like, you're never going to be able, you're not giving enough value to ever return the value that you want. Like, it just doesn't work that way. So if
Right.
you guys want to make more money, make yourself more valuable. There's a reason why Warren Buffett says the more you earn, the more you learn, the more you earn. Because that's it. Like that, what is your deserve it factor, right? Like again, that's one of the things that Ty Lopez talks about. Like, what's your deserve it factor? How much do you deserve it? People
Yeah.
want to hate on people like LeBron James, but LeBron, I'm not that I'm a LeBron James fan, but like LeBron gets up every morning since he was like 8 and plays basketball and works out and he diets and he sacrifices. Like he does every single thing that deserves to be the best basketball player and one of the highest players in the league. Like Johnny Manziel, a college football player who had amazing talent, gets drafted in the first round, millions of dollars, and he fizzles out within a year because Johnny Manziel partied his way out of it. He deserved not to be in the NFL. Like, so
Yeah.
that's what people really need to look at. Like, what do you deserve in life? How are you showing up? And do you really deserve to have the things that you say you want?
I love that. Now, I just had a coaching call with someone who is putting out a ton of value and showing up for her audience and serving and asking good questions and is in a little bit of an income rut. And she said to me, I'm ready. I'm doing all the right things. I've been showing up, and so how do you respond to that? Like, I've done so much. Where is
Yeah.
it?
So the
Because
next thing is then is that,
give.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%, man, because then it kind of becomes like unpacking, right? Now we're going even further and it's getting even deeper because now we're starting to talk about subconsciously, like what is it? What is our relationship to money? Like, what do we view money as? Now let's like say this because most people don't get it, but like money comes down to like having like a growth mindset or a scarcity mindset. So let's say this, even if you make good money, do you ever find yourself going like up and down in ruts like this, right? Like, oh, sometimes you have a lot of money, sometimes you're like, oh fuck, it's getting close. Well, you guys have to understand, like, that is a scarcity mindset, right? That in the fact that like when you guys get money, even if you spend it on good things, like, oh, I'm gonna buy that course. I really shouldn't buy that course or buy that coaching right now, but I'm going to, or I'm just gonna go out and buy those shoes right now because I don't know when I'll have the money again.
Mm,
You guys are already setting your subconscious, your mind up to not have money again. So when you
yes.
finally get money and you go out and spend it because you're not sure when you'll have it again. So these are clues that you can look at for like how is your relationship with money? Did you have something?
Or saving for a rainy day. That drives me nuts. I'm like, so you're waiting for bad stuff to happen? You're just like, okay,
Right,
I have this ready for you, bad. Like,
right.
Blend it on the
So so
sunshine.
that's the one thing. Like if I was talking to somebody and it gets just kind of specific to person, you have to really start to look at first what is that relationship with money. Well, actually, honestly, first what I would look at is I would look at your marketing and branding strategies, and I would see if like maybe you're just like off on your CTAs and like your stories, and the value. But I know that Hannah knows what's up. So the next thing would be like, what are those limitations? What do you really feel about money? Does money make you feel gross? Like, do you feel like you don't deserve it? Because what find a lot of people is they don't feel worthy. Like, it's not about money. It's not that they don't feel self-worthy of money. They don't feel self-worthy about themselves in anything. So for me, it's like, oh man, is it okay if I say that I want to be great? It's the same thing,
Right.
right? And so if you ever doubt that, if that's it, because this is so interesting. The subconscious does no recollection of time. It doesn't understand past, future, or present. Everything that your subconscious feels is in the moment. So when you think in the past, oh, I've never been able to manifest money before, or oh, it's always been so hard for me to make
And
money.
hard. Paycheck to
Right.
paycheck, never enough.
You're manifesting it right now because your subconscious doesn't know what was in the past. It doesn't know what was in the future. So all these things, the way that we talk to ourselves, you guys, is so important.
And
I
it's so
can't
easy to
stress it enough.
change.
It's so important. I have notes on this stuff, and if anybody's watching this and then they want to reach out to me, like I'll just give them to you. I got them from a coach of mine, but it can help you on the subject. And I would tell you guys right now, but I'm still learning it. So I welcome you guys to check out the notes and go through the teachings with me. But it just
Yeah.
comes down to it just comes out. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, shameless plug. I just did a training on this. So
Perfect.
it's so simple to change because if your story is
Thank you, Julianne.
I've never had it, it's always been hard. Money flows easily to me. I am a money making machine. I am a generous person. Like just telling yourself, because like you said, the subconscious doesn't know. So if
Right.
you're talking like you're rich and abundant and generous, then the subconscious is going to believe that and it
Right.
will eventually
Yeah.
come. And the other thing is just thinking, like I mentioned, like saving for a rainy day. That's scarcity, that's hoarding. And the more that you can put money, the energy into work and use it as the currency, the exchange that is
Right.
intended to be,
Right.
that's one way to set yourself up to receive more. So,
100%. Energy exchange. Like I made a video. It's the same thing. It's like you guys. If I spent the last 5 years learning branding and I went to conferences and hired coaches and I shunned my girlfriend for stretches of time and I was in the books and like I spent an ungodly amount, let's say, of time and energy acquiring all the information that I had to learn about branding. And then you guys can apply this to whatever it is that you already know, right? So I've already accumulated all that. So now, right now, today, Hannah walks up to me and she goes, "Oh, hey, Marshall, like I want some branding information." I go, "Awesome. You have two choices, Hannah. You can read all of these books, you can hire all these coaches, you can go to all these conferences, you can do all this, you can put in all the exact same energy that I had to acquire this.
yep.
Or you can trade me energy that you've already put somewhere else, and they measured that energy that you've already put somewhere else in the form of money. So now Hannah can go, okay, well, I don't want to do that. So that's what I want you guys to think about when you guys think about money. You guys have such a disconnection, but like Hannah said, it's just an equal exchange of energy. It's not gross to ask for money. We put all that time and effort into learning how to do what we do. If somebody else wants that from us, that's great. Either they can go do it themselves or they can exchange the
Yep.
value, and that's how simple money is.
Yes, I want both sides of the coin to go with this metaphor to hear that. One, if you want to get somewhere, getting a coach or having someone else hold your hand is like buying the shortcut. And like you said, if you've got 5 years to spare to go do what we've done the past 5 years, then like enjoy. It's going to be a roller coaster. Or you can get in my seat and we can speed you to that,
100%.
outcome you want. And then second thing, the other side of that is if you have something to offer, like Ruth, who's on here, the energy and the time and the money that you've put into overcoming your limiting beliefs,
Yes.
like if you list that out, it better be a really high, I'm assuming it's a really high point, and like time is invaluable, right? And so having that, and this is something I've shared with Marshall and a lot of people on this call, like actually listing out your value, right? And like what you're really giving people. You do have a priceless offer, no matter where you are in your journey, is because you've been playing the game of life and you have access to the internet right now that tells me that you have some awareness and some access to your resources. So
100%.
yeah, money, using it to give and receive value, resources, energy, not having a cool number to look at when you log into Wells Fargo.
100%. And it's crazy because I'm 33, so 26, so whatever that is, for 7 years. Holy smokes, I'm getting old. I've been in the entrepreneur world for almost 7 years now. And it's crazy because the first 6 years, Hannah, I did everything on my own. I didn't know about investing in code. Like I just didn't know. I wouldn't have, but I didn't know that you could hack it, right? And 6 years of my life, I lost relationships. I lost so 6 years of my life. I tried to figure it out. And finally, in the last year, in beginning of year 7, right? I said, you know what? I'm going to spend the last $1,000 I have to my name. I don't know why. I'd never even spent that amount of money before. So I'm going to spend the last $1,000 I have to my name. Literally, I spent it. I had $17 in my checking account after I did it to buy a course to teach me how to use social media to make money. And I just finally was
You
like, you
had
know what?
plenty of space to receive in then. I've been in the
Yeah,
same boat a few times, and I
yeah.
always decide to invest.
And it
Not,
changed our life.
yes, and like,
Changed our life.
right, like you said, earning more money, having more time than I ever imagined, but you have to go through some of that, exchange and
Right.
creating space, just like in
Oh,
a closet, you guys. You can't
I just
shove
wish
in
that
more
people
money
would do it.
hoarding it.
100%. The thing is, I want people to invest in themselves. Change my life. If I hadn't done that, I made more success in the last year than I did in 6 years.
Right,
6 years on my own, I did nothing. So
right.
I'm telling you guys, if you're watching this, I'm not telling you to hire me as a coach or Hannah or anybody. I'm just telling you guys, go out and invest in yourself. I don't care what it is. Figure out what you want. Life is a freaking video game, you guys. Are you understanding this? Like, this is what coaching is all about. Your little video game character comes up in the thing. You go, okay, what do you want? I want the battle helmet next. So you trade your tokens and you get the person that get, and now you have the battle helmet. You're like, woohoo! What do I want to level up next? And it's just you just level up
Yes,
piece by
I
piece of your
love
character.
that.
Like
Yeah,
that's it. Like, what
yeah.
do you want? What do you?
And
Oh,
guess
you want
what?
the big sword?
Yeah,
Yeah, go
only
ahead.
one tool, only one hammer is how to use social media. Okay.
Right.
You're going to need so many tools and protectors and strategies. And so
Yes.
this
Yes.
constant chasing for like, how do I do branding? How do I get more likes on my video is
Right.
like, that's a hammer you're going to drop really soon. But establishing your person with tons of value and resources is the only way to have the sustainable success that you and I are both, um,
Yeah.
finally leaning into.
Yeah, it's crazy. And for me, after investing, people are probably wondering, well, okay, this is great, guys. You got me all hyped up. I'm set. Well, how do we start to do this? All right, like how do we actually start to live in this space? And the first thing that changed my life, besides after investing in myself, is I can't stress this enough, you guys, is getting together a morning routine. Like figuring out whatever your morning routine is. Because like we said in the beginning, we can sit here and talk about hard skills and skill sets and the making money and the hammer part, but then it comes down to, okay, well, what is this purpose and how do I find it? Well, the first place to start is to get a routine, to develop success habits and results rituals. So what are the things that you're doing every single day that are bringing you the most success and happiness, and how can you institute those into your day every day and cut out all the stuff that doesn't matter? But do you have a morning routine?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I just had two things are like so on the tip of my tongue. How you
Yes,
spend
please.
your day is who you are.
Yeah,
So if you don't start your day with some sort of intention, you are lacking intention.
yeah, 100%.
The person. Yeah. And again, like we're talking about creating space in your bank account, creating space in your schedule is the only way you're going to get these insights and the hows and the what. So I'm totally with you.
Yeah,
Yes, agree. 100%.
yeah. Yeah, it's funny because Tony Robbins calls it the Niagara effect, right? And basically what he says is that people will wake up in the morning, and when you don't have a plan, you're just going with the flow, right? When you wake up and you don't have a structure to exactly what that next step is you're going to take, you just live by the circumstances. And I bet a lot of you viewers on here know, whether you guys are watching live or come back and watching the replay, you guys know what it's like to be pushed around by the world when you don't have that choice, when you feel out of control. And that's what Tony calls the Niagara effect. He says you wake up and you're just pushed around and around and around. You go with the flow of the current until you eventually go over the edge, right? And this is where we have these big problems in our life. And it's crazy because if you guys can just establish a pattern that allows you to basically prime yourself before the day to set these success habits that are going to bring these results that you want, it's a game changer.
Yep.
I'm not telling everybody to go meditate, but for me, I start every single morning with meditation. And because I'm the type of guy who's like, rabbit, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's changed my life.
Yeah.
And that was the first place to start. There's some great quote I read the other day, and it was like something about starting within until you can heal out. But anyways, like everybody wants to get the skills. How do I make money? When really people should be coming to people, come to coaches or buying programs and go, hey, how do I understand here better
Yeah.
first? Because everything starts here, you guys, and it manifests itself out. The reason that Hanna it has attracting things like the instructor coming through and be like, hey, would you ever want to teach here? So that's the kind of energy she put out to the world. That's the way that she shows up every day. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. And spoiler alert, people buy your ability to help them get their dreams or achieve something or that space or that energy you have.
Yep.
People actually don't care how long your program is or like how awesome your book is. No, they care about what you're going to bring to their life and if that's
Right.
going to be positive and moving them into a direction that they want to
Right.
move. So, oh my gosh, I feel like we've done so much value today
I
here.
feel I like that quote though. Bring real quick. It brings to my mind is people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Yeah. So people don't know how people won't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
we could just go on
Yeah.
like a quote battle, I feel like, because it's
I
also
love
the
it.
people won't remember what you said, but they'll remember how you made them feel.
100%.
Right?
If you wake up and own the morning, you'll win the day. We could go on and on and on.
All right.
You know,
So
start your day until you plan your day.
I
Yeah.
think it is loud and clear that we need to have more Hanna and Marshall coffee chats together. So,
Oh my God, you said my magic word. Any excuse to have coffee. I'm
all right, let's
down.
do it. So if you are again, on here live and you want to see more of Marshall in this group, or if you have on the replay, give us some love, drop some comments. Like, clearly we could go on and on. And
100%.
also, so I'm just kind of assuming, but Marshall, would you be open to hopping on another conversation?
I would be down like a clown. I would love to know what your community wants us to talk about, man. Like you said, you guys we're both I branding, ex branding, and well, I don't know what Hannah's got going on, but side suspicions tells me there's a pivot coming up, and whatever we can do, you guys like if you guys love, go watch my channels. Like I think Hanna,
Yeah.
like I'm sorry, I mean I think I was crying a week ago. I think I was bawling a week ago. Like, and not that you have to follow me because of that, but if you guys really want to know what it's like to like show up and like live authentically and be vulnerable, feel free to follow me too, because I want you guys to understand how simple this is and what it means to step up into your greatness as a leader. And I would be honored to come back in and be here with you guys.
Yeah, we're already getting love, and I'm glad you're here too. So yeah, where can we find more of you? You're a real person. You're a member of this group. We can, send you a message or something. But what is
100%? That's it. I want people. I just link up. Let's just connect. And if there's something I can help, there's questions I can answer. Like that's what I'm here to do. Now, the real truth of it is, and this is something I haven't really talked a whole lot about, and I should probably mention it sometime soon on my channel. But if you message me, it's just I get a lot of messages, and so it's not that I won't message you back, but so sometimes like I don't go into my messenger like as much as I should, but I always respond to some of the engagements on my post. So seriously, if you guys want my attention, you guys just want to know, find me on my lives, interact with me on my lives, interact on my content, because that I will 100% of the time see, and then that will cause me to then want to go message you. But if you guys are just shoot me messages,
everyone?
I get so many freaking messages that it's hard for me to get through all of them sometime. But I just love this community, and I think it's amazing what you've created here. And when I saw you on the docket of the influencer summit, I still wasn't really too familiar with what it was that you brought to the table, but I've just got to tell you, like over the last couple of weeks, since January of getting to know you and work with you, it's just been really, really incredible, and I really appreciate sharing the time with you and just the insight and the way that we're growing together. I just think it's so fun. It's so fun to meet people that are on the same level as you guys come up together, and it's just really meant a lot to me to be able to build a friendship like this. So I really appreciate that.
So mutual. Just a couple of real people making dreams
Yeah,
come true. Like what could be
got
better,
it, girl.
right?
That's right. You know it.
All right, my friend. We will talk very soon.
Thank
And
you so much, guys.
thank you.
Bye
Bye.
bye.